Our big story today, more than 100 Haitians make a treacherous journey to the U.S. Coming up, their desperate dash when they get to the shore and the fight to let them stay here. Hundreds of pounds of pot removed from homes all over South Florida. Tonight, several people under arrest as part of a major grow house crackdown. Plus, what could be a monumental breakthrough in the war on prostate cancer. Details on a locally tested vaccine that could clear a major hurdle tomorrow. But first, taking a bite out of childhood obesity. Coming up, how your child could be brainwashed into eating too much of the wrong foods. That's next. That's going to do it for CBS 4 News at 5. CBS 4 News at 6 starts right now.
Now, live, this is CBS 4 News at 6.
Off the top at 6, a desperate dash. Haitians jump from a rickety boat after coming ashore in Hallandale Beach. Those men, women, and children had been at sea for weeks before making it to U.S. soil. And unfortunately, not all of them made it alive out of this treacherous journey. Their boat arrived near A1A and Hallandale Beach Boulevard. CBS 4's Joan Murray is there live to kick off our team coverage. Joan.
And Beatriz, one person died, possibly from drowning, and it all happened here this morning just at sunrise, just off A1A and Hallandale Beach Boulevard. It was at the beginning of March. These migrants left Haiti. They say they were seeking a better life, and some barely made it here alive. They were at sea for 22 days, their food and water running scarce more than a week ago. Over 100 migrant Haitians, dehydrated and disoriented, staggered to shore just as dawn was breaking over Hallandale Beach.
It just was so shocking. It's very shocking. And some of them were passing out on the beach, and I just slapped them around and they were awake.
Trying to help them out and help everybody so they can get medical attention and food and water because they looked like in bad shape.
Paramedics treated sick passengers inside a fire station. The weakest survivors were taken to the hospital.
I don't pay no money. I just see the boat, the people going for look for life, and I go and do it.
Outside the fire station, anxious relatives turned up waiting for news. Ricardo Francois was able to communicate with his brother.
I don't know how they survive. I don't know how they come right here. They don't eat. They don't nothing. When he calling me, he say, "Oh, I'm here. I'm in life." Then I'm not dying.
Those who did not leave on stretchers were herded onto buses bound for Border Patrol headquarters. Some were left wondering how the boat managed to escape detection.
Is our Homeland Security money being wisely spent? I think we should take a big assessment of how that money's being spent when a vessel like this could come in with nobody seeing it, not even the Coast Guard.
We try to do the hardest job working with our state, local, federal partners and trying to secure America's borders, and we're going to continue to try to do that. But you do have situations like this where a boat slips through.
And that 35-foot long wooden sailboat, I'll see in that video just before that they actually had to break it apart to take it away. They say it was in such poor shape. Now, as for the survivors, 3 are in critical condition at the hospital, 4 in serious condition, and we're told 2 are in good condition. The rest are being processed and will most likely be sent back to Haiti. In Hallandale Beach, Joan Murray, CBS 4 News.
And from Joan, our team coverage turns now to Shomari Stone. He is live in Miami with more on the U.S. policy towards Haitians and the fight now by some to try to keep them here. Shomari.
Well, people at this evening's news conference tell me that the U.S. government's wet foot, dry foot policy is unfair and racist. Now, I was walking around this Haitian community center here, and I found one woman who was painting in a cubicle, and she tells me that she was painting to bring awareness to the injustice.
My name is Fania Innocent, and I hope these signs will educate and motivate everyone to get together for equal rights.
Her struggle is illustrated in a sign.
So that everyone could see the thoughts that are in our minds and what we're trying to stand for.
This 28-year-old Haitian is a U.S. citizen who had mixed emotions Wednesday morning.
It was happiness for me, but also sadness.
As more than 100 Haitian refugees, her people, arrived on Hallandale Beach.
Deeply in my heart, I know that they're not going to be able to stay.
That's because of the U.S. government's policy towards Haitians. Haitians who make it to shore are usually sent back, whereas Cubans who touch land are generally allowed to stay because of the government's wet foot, dry foot policy.
There's the wet foot, dry foot policy, and that it doesn't include my Haitian people. And that's why I know that eventually they'll be sent to Chrome and try to be sent back home.
In October of 2002, the government sent almost all the 200 Haitian refugees who made a desperate run for freedom right back to Haiti. Immigration advocate Cheryl Little will try her best to make sure that doesn't happen this time.
I tell you, we're going to be fighting tooth and nail to try to ensure that these Haitians are treated fairly and humanely, that they're released after they pass their asylum office interviews, and that they have a full and fair opportunity to make their case for asylum.
Until then, Fania Innocent will continue to protest the policy, one stroke at a time.
I hope my signs would educate and also empower other people to get up and help us fight.
And the activists say that the refugees should receive due process and be released on their own reconnaissance. They say they should be allowed to present their case for asylum in a court of law. Live here in Miami, I'm Shomari Stone, CBS 4 News.
We would like to know what you think. Should the Haitians who arrived today be allowed to stay in the U.S.? Log on to CBS4.com and take part in our web poll. You will also find unedited video of the migrants arriving, as well as a slideshow. It's all on CBS4.com. And now new information on a developing story we've been following for you since 5 o'clock. A mobile home reduced to rubble in Hialeah Gardens, threatening surrounding homes there. Chopper 4 over the scene. This is near Okeechobee Road. Smoke filled the air, as you can see, as that home was completely engulfed in flames. Firefighters were able to put out the fire, and it's believed no one was inside. Now, a mobile home next to it did sustain some damage, but the man living there managed to make it out and was not hurt. Miami-Dade cops sweep the county as part of a major crackdown. They're targeting marijuana grow houses that seem to be cropping up all across the area. Well, today, cops raided a record number of homes, breaking a nationwide record. CBS 4's Tiffani Helberg is live in West Kendall with details for us. Tiffani.
Well, this is the command center for their operations. They've had a constant stream of arrestees coming through all day. You can see one being processed now. They're in the brown shirt. The rest remain in that corrections bus behind her. The last stop before jail for those accused of hiding hydroponics labs inside homes to grow massive amounts of marijuana. Handcuffed and slumped over, Thomas Rodriguez struggles to explain himself.
I was just trying to make a living, man. That's it. I'm done.
Rodriguez is one of dozens of people linked to grow houses in South Miami-Dade, homes just like this one, packed with pot growing to the ceiling, all beneath the glow of 1,000-watt bulbs.
First of all, it's easy to grow it. You can turn a harvest in 3 months, which means you can do potentially 3 or 4 harvests a year. It's extremely profitable.
Police say one house can rake in more than $1 million a year, and this undercover operation shows some people have more than one grow house. Detectives say an arrest does not necessarily mean much to those involved because of lax penalties.
Too often these people get caught and then they're right back doing it again.
And today the danger is even greater than before. The drug's more potent because of cross-pollination and the method a fire hazard with explosive chemicals involved and shady wiring.
What they do is they steal electricity from FPL. They do this by averting the meter box.
Danger sometimes even more alarming as police discover children sharing the same space. A lifestyle temporarily interrupted for people like Rodriguez that maintain it's a living.
But is it worth going to jail? No, it's not. Don't get me wrong, it's not, but starving isn't an option either.
Well, police are fighting the fight, doing the best job they can, breaking records nationwide, but they're honest about it. They tell me this is just the tip of the iceberg. South Florida is home to a growing number of pot houses, and they say they need your help. If you see or smell anything unusual, they want you to call police, and your tips can remain anonymous. Live in West Kendall, Tiffani Helberg, CBS 4 News.
All right, Tiffani, and here are the results of today's bust. So far, officers have seized more than $10,000 in cash. They've arrested at least 23 people, busted 34 homes, and seized close to 2,000 pounds of marijuana, which have a street value of more than $7.5 million. An inmate who only had a few months left in prison will now spend the rest of his life there because he threatened to kill a judge. Security at the Miami court was beefed up today for Bryant Williams' sentencing. He was in prison for battery, but then he threatened to kill the judge who presided over his case. Williams also tried to contact the jurors who convicted him. They portrayed themselves as cops. Tonight, these men are in jail. Police say the 50 suspects posed as police officers armed with weapons, gear, even badges, and then took part in home invasions, burglaries, and robberies. One of them even came with a Crown Victoria complete with flashing lights, a siren, and radios. The alleged impersonators are all being charged with felonies.
The state legislature is pushing to ease a constitutional amendment limiting how many kids can be crammed into a classroom. Voters adopted the amendment, which limits numbers to 18 in kindergarten through 3rd grade, 22 in 4th through 8th, and 25 in high school. Governor Charlie Crist wants to stick to what people voted for, but a committee chairman suggests voters be offered another amendment that just requires district averages be met.
Tonight, Burger King is getting praise from an unlikely source, PETA. Animal rights advocates are congratulating the Miami-based corporation on its choice to begin buying eggs and pork from suppliers who don't keep their animals in cages. A PETA spokesperson says he hopes this will encourage others in the industry to do the same.
Well, which South Florida city has the best tasting water? The verdict is in, coming up. We'll have
Also ahead, sorry Betty, the locally tested cancer vaccine that could get a whole lot closer to hitting the market tomorrow.
The sun will shine.
And they don't look like big singing stars, but they do have quite a bit of talent. Jade Alexander is going to introduce us to some very talented seniors, we promise. Stay ahead.
I could sing about this forecast, but you probably don't want to hear that. But you might want to hear about the weekend. I'll have the news on that coming up next.
I want to hear you sing, David. Jim Barry here, up real soon in sports. At the Sony Ericsson, A-Rod gets derailed by a bad wheel. Oh, man. And the Marlins finally pick a center fielder. We'll tell you whom.
Welcome back. What appears to be good health news tonight, a very promising development in the fight against a common form of cancer.
There is now a prostate cancer vaccine being tested right here in South Florida, and it could be on the brink of getting the green light. Our health specialist, Dr. Sean Kenniff, is here. Now, you were first to tell us about this, Sean.
Yeah, we actually told you about Prevenge about 3 years ago, and it was an experimental prostate cancer vaccine back then. And now, tomorrow, an FDA advisory panel is convening to decide whether or not the treatment should be put on the market. If the advisory panel says yes, Prevenge would be the world's first vaccine treatment specifically designed to attack any type of cancer. In clinical trials, Prevenge prolongs life in men with end-stage prostate cancer. Dr. Manuel Guerra from Mercy Hospital says it could be a turning point in prostate cancer care, and the data looks good.
From what it looks, everything looks so promising. I just can't see it not being approved.
Now the news gets even better because unlike chemo, radiation, and surgery, Prevenge has very few side effects, and we're going to tell you much more about this groundbreaking therapy tomorrow after that advisory panel's decision.
What's it called again?
Provenge, P-R-O-V-E-N-G-E.
But it has nothing to do with prevention, right? Because it's for people who have the cancer.
It's funny that you should say that because you're absolutely right. This is intended for men who already have cancer. Unlike Gardasil, the cervical cancer vaccine that prevents infection of the virus that causes most cases of cervical cancer, this vaccine is intended for men already with cancer, and basically what it does is it trains the body's immune system to attack those prostate cancer cells, and it's really quite amazing when it works.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. Well, if you live in the city of North Miami Beach or are planning to, listen up. The city's tap water is the best tasting in our region, something to be proud of. The city beat out Miami-Dade County, Homestead, North Miami, and the Florida Keys. The water competed against other state cities today in the 5th annual American Waterworks Association Drinking Water Taste Test. I need a drink of water just after saying that. The winner, Utilities, Inc. in Central Florida.
Bravo. Where American Idol's got nothing on them. A local group of seniors who belt out tunes that even Simon would love. CBS 4's Jade Alexander hosts Senior Idol.
Holy Cross Hospital in Fort Lauderdale is known for helping the sick, but did you know the hospital is also looking for singers? Yep, a local contest right here gave folks a chance to work those voices.
When marimba rhythm starts to play, dance with me, make me sway.
Charles Aronson is one of over 100 seniors who came to audition for Senior Idol, a yearly contest held at Holy Cross Hospital, named one of the top 50 hospitals for geriatric care.
Based on that, we decided, well, let's really show how committed we are to our geriatric population, and Senior Idol was born.
Because of you, the sun will shine. The moon and stars will say you're mine.
Sonny Allegro is entering the contest for the second year in a row, and he came back for the fun, not the cash.
The money I would donate to charity and then come back next year and be an opening act for this
contest.
Or for Britney Spears.
Over Britney Spears, yeah. My friends will love that one. My wife, too.
Is this the first time you sing in public?
Yeah, from when I was a kid, teenager then.
And who convinced you to do this?
My friend.
Who won't be your friend for much longer? Ah, but it was thanks to her friend that Avis Brightly got her chance at senior stardom. We are not worthy. We are not worthy. Worthy or not of the Senior Idol title, Charles doesn't need to be the next Taylor Hicks to get the chicks.
Well, I still drive. I still cook. I shop. I cook. And I drive at night.
Good for you.
And the young chippies, 93, 94, are running after me.
Oh, yeah? Good.
Sway me now, marimba.
Oh, right.
The 12 finalists will compete on May 22nd at the Parker Playhouse. They get the crown and they get $1,000. Hey, and listen, I hear it's a huge production and tickets are only $10. Can't beat it. In Fort Lauderdale, Jade Alexander, CBS 4 News.
That is cheap. And you know, Jim Barry's a great singer. Is it too late to get, oh, he's not here. Can't even defend himself.
You know what I was just thinking?
That's why I threw that cheap shot in
Everything
there.
you want to keep doing when you get older, as in that gentleman who says, I can still drive at night, I can cook, I can shop.
Scary.
I don't like doing any of those things right now. I don't want to cook, I don't want to shop for anything, I don't want to drive at night.
Because you take it for granted that you can.
I guess that's probably it. There you go.
But
All
you
right.
love to give us the weather.
I love it. Can't
We
get
love
enough
it.
of that. Okay, right now we've got a great evening shaping up. We're 77 degrees, but you're 1 degree warmer in Miami at 78. The stickiness scale, nice and dry with a 0 showing up, and we have a good east breeze blowing at 14 miles per hour. So what about the rest of your evening? No problems to speak of whatsoever. We'll call for temperatures at 74 for the evening hours. A nice beach breeze. Cooler inland overnight. Most of the metro area about 69. Touch warmer at the coast. A little cooler further inland. Sun and clouds and warming through the lower 70s tomorrow morning. Overall should be plenty sunny for sure. Right now, 83 in Tallahassee, 81 Tampa, 80 in Fort Myers, and Orlando has 80 degrees, so a nice warm day for the entire state. Our winds continue to blow out of the east like they have been all week long, and while we see sustained winds around 12 to 16 miles per hour, we had that 16 at Opelika right now, the real strong wind gusts, those started to lighten up yesterday, and that trend has continued for today as well. Satellite picture today, just a few fair weather clouds blowing in on that easterly breeze. Those clouds pushing over the west coast tonight, giving us generally fair weather this evening on the east coast. And we don't see any showers developing over the Atlantic waters, so it does look like it should be a dry night across all of South Florida. High pressure moving away, so that's allowing for the winds to relax a little bit. Those easterlies not quite as strong. Lots of dry air over central and south Florida, giving us that nice sunshine today with just a few fair weather clouds. And tomorrow, I really don't see much change. The true view is going to continue to show lots of sunshine, just a few clouds blowing by from time to time. So we say stays nice, warm and dry. Then on Friday, well, a little bit of a change. There's going to be a front that's going to kind of go by South Florida. It's just going to kind of clip us. It's not going to make us cooler, but it is going to cause the breeze to build late in the day, and there might be a little shower on that breeze as the winds come in from the northeast. Now on Saturday, I'm going to mention a slight chance of a shower, but the breeze should relax some, but an occasional gusty breeze could bring a shower blowing by, but overall it looks really nice. And on Sunday, less breeze and lots of good sun. It should be a nice warm day. Here's the forecast for tonight. 70 at the coast, 62 inland. Isn't that going to make for a nice night? For tomorrow, 81 degrees, sun and clouds, warm and dry. And on the water, east to northeast, 10 to 15, 3 to 5 on the seas. And the bays will see a moderate chop. So there's our 81 tomorrow, 82 on Friday with a few showers and the breeze building in during the day. A comfy breeze and 80 on Saturday with minimal rain chances. Lots of good sun on Sunday with high temperatures in the lower 80s. So right now, holding out hope that the weekend is going to hold together.
Cross our fingers.
There you go.
Thank you, David.
Okay.
Coming up for us in sports, Andy Roddick has an early exit in today's match, but his opponent wasn't the reason. I think I better leave before Jim Barry gets out here with sports. Plus, a former member of the 2003 World Series champion Marlins is sent to prison. Jim Barry's coming up with the details.
But first, a look at the closing numbers on Wall Street today. We're coming right back. Beatrice and I keep busting Jim's chops. People are going to think we're in love with you or something.
Or something.
I heard you call me the singing senior citizen. That old guy.
We said you sing well, but you're too young to join that competition.
Andy Roddick feels old. In fact, he was singing a song, ow, because he was in pain today. Poor Andy Roddick. He might have won the Sony Ericsson, but bad timing with a bad hamstring ends that idea. In the men's quarterfinals, Andy seems primed to face another Andy, as in Murray from Great Britain. Roddick near court, right away put on the defensive, and Murray comes in, pounces with a winning volley. But 8 games into the first set, Roddick comes up lame. He tries his best to tough it out, but he knows, come on, it is simply not worth it. The trainer tries to help him out. He tries to continue, but after this point, you can see that Roddick is done. He retires, and Murray moves on.
I was starting to feel it when I was walking, and I had to run for a couple backhands that game, and it wasn't really working out so well for me. So I thought, you know, there are a million things going through my mind, but I thought it'd be best to call him then.
Well, Andy, now you can chill and watch our special. Tune in Sunday morning at 11:30 a.m. for Serve It Up. It's going to lead us right into the men's final, televised right here on CBS. Okay, Miami Heat, if you're going to make a stretch run, trust me, fellas, it's time. The Heat tonight start a crucial road trip with their playoff seeding squarely on the line. Pat Riley hopes he and Shaq look just as happy tonight after they played Toronto. Last time these teams met, the Heat had a healthy Dwayne Wade, and they won by a bunch, 22 points. But with Wade out now, the Heat must click on all cylinders to win, and they have their eyes on a big playoff prize.
You want to play home. You want to, you know what I mean, be here and, you know what I mean, playing in front of your fans, because your fans give you so much support here. So, you know, we want to have, you know, one or two rounds of home cooking.
I know what you mean, EJ. In baseball, former Marlin Ugueth Urbina faces a 14-year prison sentence. Urbina found guilty of trying to murder 5 men who once worked on his ranch in Venezuela. In Jupiter, Marlin press David Sampson says attaboy to Alejandro De Aza. He wins the Marlins center field job. De Aza beats out Alex Sanchez, who was cut, and Eric Reed, who was sent to the minors. De Aza wins the gig with a very solid spring.
He can play all 3 outfield positions above average. He's an above average runner, and there were situations during the course of the spring training games that he did the right things.
It's just a big dream, you know. I'm just work hard, you know, like every day, get in, get out, you know, try to do my job, and it's work, you know.
Sure did. Hey, is that Rob Hanrahan facing the Marlins? No, he's about to get married. That's facing the music. Anyway, the Marlins' Paul Hoover smacks this double off of Washington's Joel Hanrahan, knocks in the only run. Marlins win 1-0. And that's sports.
Ah, very good, very good.
Since you say I'm an old senior citizen.
You are not. You're lovable, though.
Thank you.
Coming up at 6:30, our first pictures of those British sailors and Marines being held by Iran.
Plus, why if you're concerned about childhood obesity, you may want to take a closer look at what your kids are watching on television. Those stories and more on the CBS Evening News. Remember, if you see news in the making, give us a call in either Miami-Dade or Broward, 866-658-8477. You can also take a picture or video and email it to us at pix4@cbs4.com.
We're pretty proud to share this big honor tonight here at CBS 4. We are the proud recipients of another 3 2007 RTNDA Regional Edward R. Murrow Awards. The awards were for investigative reporting for our series Law and Disorder. The other 2 were for Best Newscast and Overall Excellence. The awards honor outstanding achievements in electronic journalism, and now we're going to compete on a national level in all 3 categories. This is the 3rd straight year that we've won Overall Excellence Regional Awards, and we're so grateful.
And so proud.
And so proud.
All of us out here. That's going to do it for our news now. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember, once again, we're always on at CBS4.com.
For Beatriz Canals, Jim Barry, and David Bernard, I'm Maggie Rodriguez. Good night.
I'm Katie Couric. Tonight, there's a new battle plan.